Prime Minister under pressure to get on top of the amount of illegal migrants who reach the UK. 700,000 is the new figure we're supposedly hearing tomorrow about the legal ones. That doesn't bother one French police chief, who indeed is in charge of preventing migrants crossing the Channel. He's apparently been absent for 14 years while he spends time golfing and swimming. What a joke. Laura Dosworth is still with me in the studio. But first, let's bring in Tory MP Paul Scully. Paul, very good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening to you, Mike.
Now, this guy has got such a great record for not going to work. I thought he was working for the passport office in Britain for a minute, but he's even outdone the boss of that. 14 years, basically, on the lam.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first I've heard of this, but what we've got to make sure, we're paying the French a lot of money in the deal that we've had to try and reduce the number of people leaving their shores to come to the UK. We've got to make sure that that deal has been adhered to, because we're not getting the results in terms of the too many people coming here. It's a complicated situation. It's not just because of that, but clearly, if someone's away for 14 years, that doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right, but it gives you a pretty good idea as to why things are not moving in the right direction, doesn't it? Because the Belgians have managed to stop people leaving their shores by just simply intercepting the boats.
Yeah, look, I mean, it is complicated. If you look at what we've been doing over the last year, we also had a deal with Albania. The amount of people that come through France from Albania has been reduced by 90%. We've done work in terms of having a detention centre in France. This is why we've got to get this law changed to get that Rwanda policy literally off the ground, the planes off the ground, because that will act as the deterrent. We've got to reduce the pull factors in the first place. We do all the policing on the coast, but what we've got to do is stop those pull factors, stopping people wanting to come here in the first place.
Well, exactly right. Laura, I mean, you know, I don't really have a great deal of hope that that Rishi Sunak's going to stop any of the boats. Do you?
Well, Suella Braverman's been very clear that he's tinkering around the edges of the plan, and he needs to pass 5 tests for the planes to take off before the next general election. It's not looking good at all. But just think, right, half of all migrant crossings have stopped. Imagine how many more they'd actually stop if they went to work. I have to say, this story about the police chief did make me laugh a little bit. He's been playing golf for 14 years.
14 years.
And he blames his second in command for having run a parallel hierarchy. Now, I'm just going to say right now, I like the French, OK? So can I now say the thing I want to say, which is none of this story surprised me at all, having lived in Paris for a year. You've got the French person who doesn't want to work not only not a minute more than he's supposed to, but not even that much. And all the kind of the officiousness and the hierarchy and the bureaucracy. And of course, we found out, didn't we, last week, that that £500 million treaty, you know, the money we send to the French to police the shores, they've been spending on microwaves, vacuum cleaners and horse riding boots.
And horse riding boots.
Strange
thing. Yeah, I spoke to a friend of mine who's moved to France, and he was saying
maybe golf clubs too.
Quite interesting trying to get Wi-Fi fixed up in France, because people turn up and just look and go, they just shrug their shoulders and go away, and nothing changes, nothing happens. You don't get the Wi-Fi. So, I mean, I suppose it's not all bad in this country.